Dr. Lori Petito here at Chabad Lifeline to have coffee, peanut butter and jelly.
I hear you're going to feed me lunch.
We're going to schmooze.
I want to eat, though.
You want to eat? Okay, fine. Okay, let's do that.
No, I don't want to eat on camera.
Well, you have to.
I'm not eating on camera. No.
Should I make it on camera? I can make it on camera.
We can make it after.
Okay, I'll make it after.
Let's talk,
Okay, let's
good
get down
stuff
to
first.
business.
Let's get down to,
Okay, so Dr. Petito, thank you so much for coming.
Always a pleasure to collaborate with you. Always a pleasure to see you. You've been an addition to our show. You've done a lot of important work.
8 months or something.
Oh, yeah, probably a good year where you
Almost,
collaborated with us. And thanks to you, we continue to do this. We continue to have once a month, we focus on addictions on the program, thanks to
First
Chabad
Thursday of the
Lifeline.
month, probably
The first
right?
Thursday of the month.
Yeah.
We always have on people who are experts in the addictions.
Right.
We've had Jennifer on.
Right.
We've had many of your staff on, actually. Talking about this important issue. And it is something that we need to sensitize the public that, some people suffer. And they suffer from sex addiction and other.
Don't say
I
that.
say the word sex. I'm not allowed to say the word sex.
Oh,
hey, you invited me here. I'm allowed to say those
just
words,
kidding,
right?
just kidding. Let me ask you something. How many people listen to your show? Around. Give me a.
It's really hard to know because I don't know, maybe 50,000 a night, something like that.
50,000 a night.
Plus, you have people who listen to the podcast because we podcast every show.
Right.
So they're downloaded.
Plus, you do also Facebook Live sometimes.
We do sometimes Facebook Live.
So is it fair to say close to 2 million people a night listen in?
Oh, that I don't know.
Okay.
That's a big number there,
Okay.
Rabbi.
All right. Somewhere between
I don't want to toot that
50,000
horn. I really don't know. The reality is, it's one of the top rated shows at that time. So anybody listening to the radio, many of them would be listening to that show. Also, we've been on for 20 years. We're celebrating our 20th year anniversary. Yeah.
20 years?
20 years every night talking about sex. I said it again. Sorry.
Gosh. Okay. So 20, that's an unbelievable thing.
Yeah.
Is there any show in Montreal that's gone on for anywhere near that?
Not a nightly show, that's for sure. No.
Right.
No. Tommy was, we were neck and neck together.
Right.
My good friend Tommy, yeah.
We got to get Tommy in here.
You
next.
should, because he's a riot. Him and I are having plans. I'm saying it right now.
Yeah.
I'm holding him to it. We're writing a book together. We're going to write a book together.
He just finished his, right?
I know, and we're both of us have written books, and I love Tommy, and we love each other,
right.
and we're funny together. So I think his, bringing in his humor and my sexual knowledge, and oops, I said it again.
Yeah.
Tommy, I'm holding you to it.
Okay.
We're going to do something together one day.
That's exciting.
That's our plan.
Maybe we can even have the three of us. We can do something together.
Why not?
I like that.
Why not?
I like that.
Yeah.
So you have been a proponent of Chabad Lifeline. You refer people here.
I refer people here all the time. I have pamphlets in my office, and I hand out the cards, and because I really truly believe people who come in, let's say people will come see me because of a sexual issue. If I determine there's any kind of compulsive nature to their sexuality, then I insist that they join a group or a program that will contain them, right? So it's like building a team. For me, it's like, I don't want to work alone. I want to work within this multidisciplinary team, which you have here, because you help the spouses, you help the families, you help the person who is addicted, all of that. So for me, it's a really complete, becomes the complete safety net for the person. And I believe in maximizing success, right? So the way to do that is to get a big team behind the person. Yeah. So this is why I believe in it, and I believe in the work that you do. I've seen it firsthand. I have clients who come back to me and talk to me about the successes they've had here, and how they appreciate the warmth that they feel here.
Right.
Which to me is a big thing, It's not like sending them off to a rehab center, but more to be part of the community.
That's great. I appreciate that.
You did not pay me to say that. I truly believe it.
No,
I really believe in it.
Coming from you, that is so big. I want to tell you something that happened Not recently. I wouldn't say it happened recently. It happened a little bit ago. Somebody who came in because they discovered things about their husband that just completely shocked their
Shattered them,
world.
yeah.
Shocked their world. So she came in for support from my wife, who's a clinical director. She
Right.
also works with family members, and she does a lot with Jennifer, who works with sex addicts. She works with partners of.
Right.
Right.
Which is absolutely necessary.
I mean, who
There's
more
trauma. It's called the
important?
betrayal trauma, and if you don't deal with the betrayal trauma, that trauma of betrayal, it's you're not going to get far in terms of rebuilding the couple.
Restoration
so,
of
yeah,
sanity.
we have to absolutely take into account that the spouse is traumatized by these events as well.
Right. So then listen what happened. So she starts journaling all of her feelings and all the things she discovered, whatever it is. Then her husband comes in, usually against their will, but they come in and they see Jennifer. And then it comes out, like just a few weeks after that, their 14-year-old daughter got access to the journal, to the diary.
Oh boy.
Yeah. She came
Yeah.
in.
Right.
She came in. So then what happened for, I think, about 3 months, I think once a week, if not, but they were coming in here. Each one had their own counselor.
Right.
We have a youth department, so the youth counselor was dealing with the child. And then every few weeks they would get together
As a family.
as a family. And that is what we're all about here. Because I think addiction, we know it's a family disease.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about how the spouse is impacted. So they call it a train wreck, an injury on the train.
Yeah. And it's trauma. Like you're talking about digging deep, right? So
Right.
there's the behavior, but there's all the trauma underneath. So
Right.
if you're not dealing with the trauma, you're not fixing the symptom, which is the addiction.
Talking about trauma, you sure you don't want one of my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? No, you don't want?
Is it vegan? Eggs in there? I don't know.
There's
Is it
how
kosher?
could it not be vegan? There's nothing
Yeah, I think it's
non-vegan
okay.
about it.
I'll take one to go. How's that? I gotta go.
Okay, I'll do that. We can do that. I try to make like a dozen sandwiches a day. Because, in all seriousness, it's a real truth that I got from my teacher, mentor, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, is that you have to take care of somebody's physicality before their emotionality, before their spirituality even.
Right.
Because
If you're hungry, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So why peanut butter and jelly? Why not gefilte fish or something?
what makes you think I'm Jewish?
I don't know.
Unbelievable.
I just don't know.
How can you say such a thing? Gefilte what? So, no, peanut butter and jelly is because it's easy, it's fast, and it's cute. Like people, when I come into the room and I say, who wants a peanut butter and jelly sandwich over here?
PB&J. That's
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a great staple.
Yeah.
And I even came here without eating. So there you go. See, you're feeding me. It's all good.
Is this one of the reasons you came today?
Yeah, just for your peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
You know what? And I'm glad.
I saw you make them last time. I said, oh,
It's about
I'll
time.
go.
It's about time that my peanut butter and jelly sandwich got
Recognition.
You want
Yeah, I do a little bit of boxing. Let's see
Thank
if
you
I
very
can
much.
do
Oh,
it.
yeah, you saw that. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So what else we want to talk about? I guess we want to talk about the community. Like you're a big community person,
So,
right?
well, my mission, like my personal mission really is education, right? So educating the world.
Let's say, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
More important, I want to know about Lori. Give me where'd you grow up?
I grew up a little bit all over the place. I came here from Morocco.
Really?
I was born in Casablanca.
How old were you?
I came here, I was about 3.5.
On your own?
Yeah, on my own. I took the plane
gosh.
by myself
That's
with my
crazy.
parents and my
Yeah.
little sister.
Yeah.
My parents were immigrants, and we lived in the Côte-de-Neige area. And my father became, upwardly mobile, and with the years became more and more successful in his businesses. And he worked really hard. I grew up with very little. Like we came here with nothing.
In Côte-de-Neige area?
Yeah, in the Côte-de-Neige area.
Wow.
And then my parents ended up getting a home in Côte Saint Luc, and so my teenage years were in Côte Saint Luc.
What high school did you go to?
I went to West Hill, and then I
Okay.
went to Wager for 1 year. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
I went to Hampstead Elementary School, and
Okay.
mind you, I went to 2 other elementary schools before that. So we kept moving.
Were you a troublemaker?
You know, I was a big mouth, as you can probably guess. I was always a student, a good student and what
Yeah.
have you, but a big mouth. So my teachers liked me, I think. It was
And
all
when
right.
did you know you wanted to be your therapist, right?
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to do something in the
Yeah.
helping profession. I really wasn't sure what.
Yeah.
But as a teenager, I guess I grew up kind of listening to Dr. Ruth, and I had an interest in sexuality. Now, I don't mean in terms of, I was a very curious kid, always very curious. So sex was like, oh, this is, I want
Did
to
you
find
talk
out
about it at
more.
home? Did you talk about
No.
it at home? Not at all.
No. So, and if you look at my parents today, who are
Yeah.
in their 80s, they have no problem talking about sexuality, even to their grandchildren.
Right.
So they're not the parents I grew up with, but they've become like very open to talking about these kinds of things.
Right.
So I went and looked for the information on my own, and of course back then there was very little information. There was it was nothing. There was really, Cosmopolitan magazine and
Right.
such. So
Right.
not much, but I always had an interest. And then I was never sure, like, when did I start really thinking this is what I want to do? And I ran into a teacher of mine from Wager, my art teacher, and I loved art,
Wow.
Carol Ergo, who I
Wait,
adore.
we should stop there for a second. You've given us a painting. You do amazing paintings.
Thank you.
We
Thank
love
you.
your paintings.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
started that when my kids were very little. I started oil painting and getting back to a passion that I loved. So that's been great too.
Yeah.
And she asked me, like, I ran into her years later, like a decade later or something. She says, oh, did you ever become that sex therapist you always wanted to be?
No.
Yeah. And I was like, what? Did I talk about it when I was 16 years old? She goes, you sure did. And I said, oh, I guess that's where it stemmed from.
What's 60?
55. I just turned 55.
So we're almost the same. I'm almost your age.
Yeah, you got more grays than I do, though.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, I don't hide it. I mean, I'm not saying that you do. I'm just saying I can't. I can't hide it.
You can't
I
dye
like
it.
my grays. No, I like him.
It's
you know
okay.
that?
I think. Listen, I don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay to
No, but
age
the gray
nicely
that I
and
like
gracefully.
about is like, I earned this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm still standing
Absolutely.
because I didn't come from Morocco at 3.5, but I came from Chamonix,
Right.
which we're talking about
Yeah,
trauma.
yeah, right,
Talk about
right,
trauma. I went
right.
to
My
Comedy
husband
High.
comes from Chamonix.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I think we've talked about that.
Yeah.
But he didn't go to the regular public schools. He went to private school, right?
My husband actually went to yeshiva.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's ooh.
Yeah.
This
He's
is
not
good. This is
religious,
good.
but
This
he
is
did
good.
go to yeshiva when he was growing up.
Wow. So he went to yeshiva, and I went to Comedy High.
Yeah.
Talk about-
Yeah,
that's
then he
amazing.
ended up. He got kicked out of yeshiva and ended up over there.
Oh, that's where we get kicked
I won't
out
even
of.
tell you why.
Why? Come on.
No.
Oh my gosh.
You really want to know why?
No one. Yeah, just between me and you.
Well, he was a curious kid too.
Yeah.
What do you think was in his little briefcase as a yeshiva boy? A magazine.
No.
What kind of magazine?
Auto mechanics.
Oh yeah, not that wouldn't get you kicked out of yeshiva.
Oh my gosh.
So he was a bit of a bad influence. So
Oh, my
it's like,
gosh.
we don't need you here. Go ahead. Go to
Ouch.
real public school.
And how old is your husband?
He's 57 now.
So I got to find somebody 57 now that went to the yeshiva
to see, yeah.
and find out who had access to that suitcase.
I think that's
amazing.
fun. It's a funny story. Nobody really knows that, but hey, I
Well,
just told
hopefully
it.
everyone's
Right.
going to know it now.
Great.
Hopefully
My
we're going
poor
viral.
husband.
I mean, the rabbi and the sex therapist. And you buy a raffle ticket every year.
Every year I support Chabad Life now. I've always.
Would you buy one
I
this
try-
year?
I buy one every year.
Okay, we have-
I never won, but I'll buy one every year.
You want to know what you want to win?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Buy 2,600. You will win for sure.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of money, but okay. But I'm
Thank you
happy.
so much for coming in.
Always a pleasure
You
to
came
see you.
special for this, and I can't tell you how much it
Always
means
a
to us.
pleasure to see you.
Thank you, and I got this ready to go.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll wrap
Looks
it.
good.
Good.
Wonderful.
Okay. Good?